Alright, let's look at Dust in the Wind. This is Dust in the Wind Lesson 1. And we're going to look at the first two measures of this Kansas classic. A lot of people really love playing this song because the finger style in it it's real pretty. And somewhat challenging, but very doable. Alright, let's take a look at the music here. We have 4/4 time, means each measure, here's one measure, two measures. Each measure is going to get 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty standard. We're going to let each note ring out here. Let it ring. So we don't want to deaden the strings. We want to let it ring. So we're going to maintain that chord voicing throughout. Alright, so we have basically 3 different chord voicings we're going to use. We're going to use a regular, in the first half of the first measure, we're going to use the regular old open C chord. So you can see, if you look at the first 3 notes here, it's just a C chord. And on the third beat of the first measure, we're going to go to a C major 7. Now, the only difference there is we're going to lift that first finger off that first fret of the B. There's the regular C. Here's the C major 7. So the only movement there is that first finger. On the first beat of the second measure, we've got a C suspended second. And the only thing we're doing there is adding our pinky there on that third fret of the B string. Then on beat 3 of the second measure, we go back to the open C. So our chord voicing: C, C major 7, C suspended second, back to C. Now that only leaves the finger picking. Now the finger picking pattern, it's the same throughout most of the song, and certainly the same here in these first 2 measures. We're going to hit the B string and the A string at the same time. We'll use our thumb for all notes on the A string. We'll use our first finger for all notes on the D string. Second finger for all notes on the G. And our third finger for all notes on the B. And here's how it goes. Alright, so let's break down this finger picking pattern. We've got a series of 7 notes. Now we're going to count these 2 notes as one note, only because we're playing them at the same time. I want us to look at it from a rhythmic perspective. Here's the first note. That is a 8th note. It's got 1 flag. And the 16th notes, which is the rest of the pattern, 16th notes, they have the double flag. Now, the 8th note gets half a beat, and the 16th note gets a quarter of a beat. So we can subdivide one beat as 1 E and that's how we'd count it, 1 E and so we go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and so I said we get a half beat for the 8th note, so that's going to get a 1 E, and then this is going to get an 1 E and 2 E and So if you're having a problem playing that rhythm by listening to it, just try to slow down and count it. 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and the pattern is the same throughout. The only difference is we're going to change those chord voicings. And once you can kind of play through it some without slowing down or speeding up, go ahead and try playing along with the metronome. And you want to not shoot for the 96 beats per minute that the song is actually performed at until you've practiced it, and you want to slowly build up to that speed. So for example, maybe you'll start at 66 beats per minute. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and see, that's still really fast. 1 2 3 4 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and like that. 1 E and 2 E and we'll play it here. 1 2 3 4. Now if that's too fast, obviously you're going to want to slow down. 1 2 3 4. So that metronome is a great tool to try to get the rhythm and timing right and getting the riff up to speed. So that's it for Dust in the Wind lesson 1. Go ahead and try to get that finger picking pattern memorized and solidified in your mind, and that will definitely help you out in the rest of the song.